A long time ago, recently settled in the land of Canaan, the Israelites were about to have a rude awakening. With sinful nations all around, it became increasingly difficult to stave off idolatry and sin. Thankfully, the God of Israel is a God of justice, but also a God of salvation, and He watches over His people. The God of justice acted. Every time the people sinned, God gave them over to a neighboring nation. Once the people cried out for God, He would deliver them from evil. And this is the cycle of the book of Judges. There once was a man named Abimilech, the son of the judge of Israel named Gideon. Abimilech wanted to be king of the Israelites after his father's death, so he had all 70 of his brothers put to death, and one escaped to tell a fable. Pride in its ugliest form. Murder. The brother who escaped lived to describe the story of his brother in a fable about a thorn bush, elected king by the trees. Abimilech is the thorn bush, and he ruled for 3 years. Abimilech is a perfect example of one who seeks to be ruler without God's sovereign decision. He was a bad boy. His kingship didn't go so well either. Eventually, the people decided that they didn't like him anymore. They began to speak badly of him. Eventually, during a battle, things would start to get very heated. God had stirred up animosity between the citizens of Shechem and Abimilech. Then a woman would drop a millstone on his head from a high tower. It split his head right open. And as he was lying there, nearly dead, he thought, at least it wasn't a girl. And so he had his slave come over and kick his butt. And then he died. And then the Israelites went back to worshiping idols. Sad, very sad. Pressured by the Philistines, they had no other choice but to cry out to God, and this is when things changed. Once Israel did this, God chose a new judge to rule over them. Meet Jephthah. Jephthah was victorious over the Ammonites and the Philistines, for God was with him. But Jephthah made a rash vow to God, saying that if he was victorious, he would sacrifice the first thing that came out of his home when he returned. Oh, that's not it. Actually, it was his daughter who came out of the home. But his daughter said, "Oh, it's okay," or something like that. And it's kind of a sad ending, but we won't talk about it now. These are the stories that continue in Judges. They're not all happy, but in them we see that this God of Israel longs for His people to worship Him, and that we must stop the cycle and turn to Him. That guy. I think his name is Jesus. That's right.